Hey, college football fans, it's Tom with Splinter Sports Talking. Listen, we're talking some college football here. And you know what? I had mentioned to you last week there was going to be some big time changes in our rankings, and there sure is. Some teams moved up, some teams disappeared. So let's talk about them real quick, okay? So listen, Alabama and Georgia. I mean, these guys are locked in at 1 and 2. I don't think it's going to change. I could be wrong, but I don't see Alabama or Georgia losing a game. Now, they're probably going to have to meet up for the SEC championship, but other than that, man, I just don't see them teams losing those spots. 3 and 4 is going to the Big Ten, Iowa and Penn State. Now, all of that changes this weekend. Iowa plays Penn State. Actually, Penn State at Iowa. So we're going to have a barn burner there. That's going to be a big game there. Now, we keep going down the list. Cincinnati. They pulled the upset over the Notre Dame. I love it. Oklahoma is at number 6. Not sold on Oklahoma at all, folks. Number 7, Ohio State. Ohio State lost the first game to a Oregon team that really is not playing anybody. They finally got beat by Stanford. And so Ohio State's been beaten up on some other teams here. They've moved up to number 7. Number 8 is Oregon. Oregon, like I was saying before, they have a weak schedule. And if they played anybody good, they probably could lose. So what they do? They lost this weekend to Stanford. Thank God Stanford beat them, because I wouldn't want to see Oregon in the championship games. Number 9 is Michigan. Now, I think I'm a Michigan fan, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think Michigan should be at number 9 right now. I just don't see a balanced attack. So I see a running game. I see a pretty decent defense. But I don't see enough of the balanced offense. What are they going to do when they play Penn State? What are they going to do when they play Ohio State? What are they going to do when they play an undefeated Michigan State? So, we're going to find out real soon, because after these next couple weeks, their season gets started. Number 10, BYU. Number 11, Michigan State. Michigan State, undefeated. They keep on winning. Surprises me a little bit. Oklahoma State at number 12. Arkansas. Wow. Man, you guys are in the driver's seat, Arkansas. What happened? You got wiped out by Georgia, 37-0. Georgia didn't even have their starting quarterback. I was thinking that if you won these next couple games, you were going to be in the top 5. But you know what? You lose a game like that, big-time game. You can't lose those games. Number 14, Notre Dame slides down to 14. Coastal Carolina is at 15. Listen, folks. I don't see Coastal Carolina changing much. In my book, they shouldn't change at all. Their schedule is extremely weak. It's like playing a MAC schedule. I mean, they're not playing tough teams to really test them to see where they would fall against all the other teams. So they're at 15. Listen, I'm all for the underdog. But if you're not playing top flight competition, how do we know how good you really are? And I just don't see Coastal Carolina. I don't even think they should be at 15, to be honest with you. Number 16, Kentucky beat Florida this past week. Florida, what are you doing? Come on. I don't understand it. Mississippi at 17, you ran into a buzzsaw in Alabama. Auburn, number 18, you beat LSU this week. Wake Forest, you got lucky. You beat Louisville. Now we got Florida's at 20, Texas at 21, Arizona State 22, North Carolina State 23, SMU 24, and San Diego State at 25. Now, let's talk about these schedules, these games that these teams just played. So, we'll make this one quick. Iowa crushed Maryland. It's what we expected. BYU beat Utah State. Texas over TCU. Now, this was the one. Georgia beat up on Arkansas 37-0. Come on, Razorbacks. What are you doing? You got to give Georgia a run for their money. You didn't do it. Michigan all over Wisconsin, 38-17. I think Wisconsin's a little banged up. Wake Forest, again, you got lucky. You beat Louisville. You barely got past them. So I'm not positive if you're for real or not. Cincinnati beat Notre Dame. Good job. Love it. Coastal Carolina over Louisiana Monroe. Ohio State beat up on Rutgers. Rutgers just got beat up by Michigan, so I'm sure they're pretty banged up playing Ohio State. Oklahoma beats Kansas State. As we know, Stanford over Oregon. Alabama, cruise control over Mississippi. SMU beats South Florida. North Carolina State over Louisiana Tech. Oklahoma State over Baylor. Kentucky in the upset over Florida. But, folks, I've been saying for a while now, Kentucky with Mark Stoops there was going to get better, and they're starting to prove that. Keeping their players there, recruiting-wise, the football team is really starting to look better. Penn State over Indiana, Michigan State over Western Kentucky, Auburn over LSU, Arizona State over UCLA. Now, UCLA, they're out of the top 25. Clemson's out of the top 25. LSU out of the top 25. So, anyways, there's a lot of teams that are in there, and there's some teams that aren't that we would normally see. Now, this week is an interesting week with our games. We got some nice games this week. After this week's games, you could go ahead and take a vacation for a few weeks, at least until week 9. Because from there, then we have some pretty boring games in between. But this week we got some interesting games. But anyways, here's what we have so far. We got a Coastal Carolina playing Arkansas State. They should win that one. Cincinnati's going to play Temple. They're going to crush them. Arizona State and Stanford. Stanford, are you for real? I'm going to go with Stanford on a Friday night game. Ohio State's going to put a beating on Maryland. Oklahoma and Texas. Come on, Texas. You've been telling us you're good. You play good once in a while. So I'm going to ride Texas, the number 21, to beat Oklahoma, number 6. Okay? I seen today Spencer Rattler's supposed to be the top player coming out of college. I just don't see it. Okay? I don't see it. So anyways, next game here, Florida should beat up on Vandy. Mississippi and Arkansas. Is Arkansas going to, make a recovery from Georgia? Is Mississippi going to make a recovery from Alabama? Wow, that's a real pick-em game. But I'm going to go with Mississippi because it's at home. They should have the crowd behind them. Michigan State is going to play Rutgers. They're going to beat them up. BYU over Boise State. Wake Forest over Syracuse. SMU is going to beat Navy. Georgia is going to put a whooping on Auburn. Penn State and Iowa. I'm going to take Penn State over Iowa. Michigan and Nebraska. This could be a game that hopefully Michigan's not sleeping on. But anyways, Michigan plays Nebraska. Then they get a bye. Then their real season starts. So Michigan better beat Nebraska. LSU and Kentucky. I'm going with LSU to beat Kentucky in that game. Notre Dame over Virginia Tech, Alabama, Texas A&M. So I'm going to go Alabama over Texas A&M, and San Diego State over New Mexico. So listen, I think the college football season is one of the best ones we've seen in a while. All the teams are extremely balanced. We don't see any superstar out there that's just running away with, I'm the best player. But we are seeing a lot of balanced teams, a lot of balanced players, and I really like the football season we have this year. So listen, college football fans, you have a great Saturday. I hope your team wins, and I'll catch you in the next episode.